At a time when the west coast of Hollywood is almost up in ashes, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump named movie legends and Hollywood icons Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson and Jon Voight as special envoys to Hollywood. In his bid, he stated that this was his attempt to make the entertainment industry stronger than ever before. The post on Trump's Truth Social says, and I'm quoting here, "It is my honor to announce Jon Voight, Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone to be special ambassadors to a great but very troubled place, Hollywood, California. They will serve as special envoys to me for the purpose of bringing Hollywood, which has lost much business over the last 4 years, to foreign countries, back bigger, better and stronger than ever before. These three very talented people will be my eyes and ears, and I will get done what they suggest. It will again be like the United States of America itself, the golden age of Hollywood, quote unquote." Now, when you look at recent history, Trump has not had many friends in Hollywood in a way. A-listers from the film industry, in fact, have happily rubbed shoulders with Democrats like Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. In 2020, many actors even claimed that they would flee from America if Trump became the president. But actors like Jim Caviezel, Jon Voight have been exceptions. The recently mentioned trio of stars standing out in Tinseltown, breaking ranks with the bulk of their colleagues who have long leaned to the Democrats. Jon Voight, the father of Angelina Jolie, has openly expressed his political differences with his daughter. The 86-year-old actor has been an outspoken conservative actor and longtime supporter. During one of his interactions with the media, he declared Trump to be the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. Recently, Stallone called Trump the second George Washington while introducing the 47th president at the America First Policy Institute Gala in November. Gibson, who was previously a supporter of the Biden-Harris duo, in 2024 switched sides, stating that Vice President Kamala Harris held a very miserable track record. Trump's recent decision to appoint ambassadors or class monitors of Hollywood hints at the former and future president's possible interest to use the industry as a soft power tool and restore Hollywood financially. In fact, he is the first U.S. president-elect to do such a thing. Post-pandemic, the industry has witnessed a limited number of billion-dollar hits. In 2018, 6 movies had crossed the billion-dollar mark, and in 2019, 9 movies had made the cut. But 2022 onwards, when the theatres were slowly recovering from the pandemic, only 2 movies each year have managed to meet the billion-dollar mark. In 2023, when the industry was recovering from the horrors of the pandemic, the dual strike in Hollywood caused another hindrance to the economy. The only entertainment event that boosted economies was Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, by the way. In other words, the industry is in dire need to bounce back from the series of unfortunate events. They need to up their game in terms of making more movies and generating more revenue. First the pandemic, then the actor and writer strikes, and now the wildfire. This might be Trump's opportunity to make a few new friends in Tinseltown. After all, let's not forget the viral video where he was seen in a rather chatty mood with the former President Barack Obama. A similar strategy has been noticed in India, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also been seen conducting sessions with the top celebrities of the country. Well-known stars like Diljit Dosanjh, the actors and producers of the Kapoor family, have also been seen coming to the country's capital to be a part of a conversation with the world leader. In December 2024, the top elected ministers of India were also seen attending a special screening of the Sabarmati Report with actors Vikrant Massey, Jitendra and his producer daughter Ekta Kapoor. The Prime Minister had stated that this was the first movie he had watched after assuming office more than 10 years ago. A similar trend has also been noticed in China, where the authorities have pushed the country's movie making as a soft power. Various Chinese films have outdone Hollywood films in the past few years, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Maybe it's time for America as well to learn from these Asian countries who are making 1,000 to 1,500 movies each year, and with Trump being the torchbearer. On to some breaking inputs coming in from the US, where the Supreme Court has upheld the law banning TikTok. It's a crucial development and a major defeat for TikTok. The court has ruled that the law does not violate free speech rights and that the US government had demonstrated legitimate national security concerns about the Chinese company owning the app. Let's get in for more details now from our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who is joining us for more on that. Susan, if you can just break down for us what more we know at this point.
So, as you mentioned, the Supreme Court did uphold that ruling for TikTok to basically be banned in the United States if there isn't a U.S. buyer. And it seems that ByteDance has not agreed to sell this to a U.S. buyer, despite the fact that we have breaking news. There's an investor named Kevin O'Leary who has posed interest in buying TikTok. We now know that he has put forth about $20 billion with another investor to buy it. Now, there are also reports that the next step may be an executive order by President-elect Donald Trump. He could issue that executive order to delay this process, but only if ByteDance and, of course, the Chinese Communist Party agrees to sell it. There's enough evidence that there is this agreement, that the process is ongoing to sell it to an American buyer. One thing that we also know right now, a lot of developing and moving parts. President-elect Trump spoke to Xi Jinping of China, and we know that one of the issues they talked about was TikTok. And, the president-elect really wants to use this as a soft power tool, perhaps, with negotiations with China. So he's had a change of heart to try to keep TikTok in the United States. But nonetheless, the Supreme Court was very fast in ruling. And, come Sunday, if nothing happens, then TikTok is going to go dark here in the United States, mainly because a lot of the platforms that host TikTok, like the App Store and for Android and whatnot, they're going to be fined if this app is on their servers. So they have a lot of incentive to really shut it down and go dark. What happens this weekend? We are also hearing that ByteDance is perhaps thinking that it may be able to sell, because there's talks that if it does sell to an American company, then the CEOs and the higher-ups of TikTok would continue to have their jobs, but it would be under an American ownership. So a lot of unknowns, a lot of moving parts. The next couple of days are going to be detrimental for the future of TikTok here in the United States.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment, Susan. Thanks very much for joining us with those updates for now. If you thought the current job market was crazy and throwing up challenges, here's something that will shock you even more, perhaps. Over a fifth of last year's Harvard MBA class remained unemployed months after graduation. You heard that right. Landing a job in the US has become so difficult that even the elite, the creme de la creme of the workforce, can no longer rely on their university's prestigious name to open doors for them. According to reports, 3 months after leaving Harvard Business School last spring, 23% of MBA graduates said that they were still looking for work. That's up from 20% in 2023 and 10% in 2022. More than a dozen top MBA programs in the US, like those at the University of Pennsylvania, Stanford University, New York University, also reported disappointing employment outcomes last year. And it begs the question, is it the current job market, or could this be a sign of some deeper issues within these prestigious institutions? It depends on who you ask. Graduates and business school staff have pointed to reduced recruiting efforts by consultancies and major tech companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft as a contributing factor. So what should one do really? Some graduates from prestigious institutions like Harvard Business School find themselves in a position where they are lowering their expectations, taking job opportunities far removed from the prestigious roles they once aspired for. And this shift stems reportedly from a growing recognition that job prospects may not align with their previous ambitions. Interestingly, those who have successfully secured positions suggest a fundamental need for introspection. And they recommend reconsidering what they mean when they say they are looking for a good job. You see, some graduates have discovered fulfilling roles that align with their skills and interests, even if they were perceived as a step down from their pre-MBA aspirations. Sure, one can reconsider what they consider as good jobs, quote unquote, but those who wait for prestigious roles may not be wrong altogether. Because it's true, there is a restructuring occurring in the job market. The COVID-19 pandemic changed the entire landscape as companies pivot towards more efficient operations and leaner teams. Companies are increasingly showing new priorities. The demand for specialized technical skills has surged, overshadowing traditional MBA training that emphasizes general business knowledge. Now, this also raises questions. Are conventional MBA programs still relevant in an evolving economic climate? And let's not forget, advancements in AI are further complicating job security with regular layoffs. In the end, one cannot help but wonder, are traditional MBA graduates truly prepared for the future of workplaces?